Hello, Artful Manifestors. Thank you for joining me today for this timeless pick a card tarot reading. To choose your reading, you're going to choose from one of these crystals that I'm going to introduce or one of the cards I'm about to reveal. I had already shuffled and recorded and chosen the cards and realized that the sound wasn't picking up. So I wanted to honor the cards that were drawn. That's why you don't see me shuffling today. I want to let you know that I always set my intentions to align with your highest and best good. And whenever you come across this reading, no matter when I recorded it, that's when you're meant to hear it. All right. For reading number 1, we have Trolleite. And for reading number 2, we have Specular Hematite. And for reading number 3, we have Amethyst. When you choose your reading, you'll just go to the description box below where you'll find a link to all of the readings as well as a list of all the cards that I use. All right, let's look at the cards now. For reading number 1, this is the image. And for reading number 2, this is the image. And for reading number 3, this is the image. Let your intuition, your inner wisdom be your guide. Whichever crystal or image you're most drawn to is most likely the reading meant for you. Enjoy your reading. Hello, reading number 1. You chose this crystal, Trolleite, which is it's often described as a stone of ascension, helping you access higher realms of awareness. It opens a clear connection to your spirit guides, angels, cosmic wisdom, making it an ally for channeling and meditation. Many people feel it enhances access to the Akashic records, allowing you to glimpse soul history and karmic lessons. Excuse me. It helps with emotional release and healing. It helps dissolve old emotional blockages, especially those stored in the body. It supports forgiveness of self and others, softening guilt or resentment or both or shame. It promotes inner peace and a gentle sense of serenity when emotions feel overwhelming. It amplifies clairvoyance, clairaudience, and other psychic senses by fine-tuning subtle energy perceptions. It can assist in lucid dreaming and dream recall and soul travel. It helps you trust your intuitive knowing rather than overthinking or doubting. It clears stagnant energies from the aura, making space for higher frequencies. Its vibration is both protective and purifying, keeping you anchored in your light while exploring higher realms. It encourages alignment of all chakras, though it is especially resonant with the third eye and crown, extending into the soul star chakra above the head. And Trolleite inspires soul purpose alignment, reminding you of why you came here. And it encourages you to step into your work as a healer, a teacher, a guide, a channel. Of course, those may not be your job title, but they may be what you're doing in your work. And it supports transformation through surrender, trusting that release creates room for growth. And this is the card that you chose. Excuse me. We see somebody here's some hands with money, which it could be giving away money, having abundance, or losing money. But if we turn it this way, then you're catching the money, you're receiving money. Now, I know that it goes that way, but I would like to turn it this way for you. I feel like with the Trolleite and this card, there's something about your relationship with money that can be healed or changed. It's like changing the perspective, right? All we did was flip the card and we have a new perspective of the scene, and it changes the whole meaning. And so I feel like there's something about your perspective about money or resources and how you gain those resources that you could just tweak, that could help you grow and clear away any old blockages, right? Now, these may be blockages that you inherited because they were modeled for you, or that you inherited that are now stored in your blood and bones. All right, let's get some tarot cards and find out more. If you hear little pitter patters in the background, that's Torby running around. All right, Justice. Six of Swords. Oh, that shot out. Eight of Wands. Boy, that Eight of Wands has been coming out a lot lately. Things are going to speed up, that means. Pay attention to what you think and say. Things are speeding up in our world. All right, I love the story that the pictures of the cards already tell us. Your relationship to money is directly tied to a distorted view of right and wrong, reciprocity, balance. And the Six of Swords is you moving away from that. And the Eight of Wands, Look at how there is leaves on here. That is growth. And the 8 of Wands, 8 is a number of abundance. It's also a number of cycles, creating new cycles, and it's swift energy. So it's the speeding up. So we're going from stagnant or blocks to movement at a very fast pace. Now let's look at it a little bit deeper. This is justice, this view of money, right? It's like this, but we're going to turn it around. It's old agreements and contracts. Remember, we talked about the Trolleite giving you access to the Akashic records. So justice is the archetype of truth, balance, and karmic alignment. So when it shows up about, around abundance, it suggests that you may carry subconscious vows. Now, you don't have to believe in the Akashic records, but let's just use it as a starting point to a conversation. These can be agreements that you made in this lifetime. So, for example, as a child in your family, you agreed to certain beliefs that were either directly taught to you, said to you, or modeled for you. So things like someone saying, save because you never know what might happen, so save for a rainy day. So it puts you in this mindset that bad things are going to happen and that you should save money for those bad things. So here's an example of that. You get your savings up, you have, let's just say you've saved $500 in your savings and it's taking you months to do this. And then your washing machine breaks and you have that $500. That's about how much it costs to replace your washing machine. So you could look at it as, well, it's a good thing that I was saving that money because I was able to pay for that new washing machine. Or you could look at it as, I saved this money and now I have to spend it on a washing machine. But really what I was saving it for was a vacation or a car. And so the reason that you're in that loop is because of a belief that, save money in case something bad happens. And so the belief is that something bad is going to happen, and that's what you're saving your money for. You're not saving your money for something that you want. So that's just an example. It's these old agreements, these subconscious vows that we make. And it may not come from family. It may come from culture. It may be a belief that people with money are corrupt. And you aren't corrupt and you don't want to be corrupt. So subconsciously, you are not allowing yourself to receive. And so you're giving your money away in various forms, whether it's to your bills, to people in need, and you're not getting as much back in return, or you're not getting more back, you're not growing it. So it's like, think of it this way. When you plant seeds, like you have one plant, right? And that plant goes to seed and it makes all of these seeds. Then you take all of it could be literally be hundreds of seeds, and you plant those seeds. Those seeds create hundreds of plants, and then you take all the seeds from all of those plants and plant them, and now you have thousands of plants. So if you think of your money as seeds and see it growing in that way, it should be multiplying, right? So that's one way to shift your perspective. The other thing that could be blocking your reception of money is judgment, which again could go back to, wealthy people are corrupt, but it could also be guilt or shame or just an inner critic that's blocking the flow of your money, that you're not worthy, imposter syndrome, that kind of things. And sometimes we even hold subconscious beliefs of not being accountable and responsible enough to have money. Sometimes people will say things like, if they won the lottery, they don't know what they would do with it. They don't know if they could handle it. They might, sorry about that. If you hear noises in the background, remember I don't live alone. So how can you shift this imbalance, this block? One thing you can do is you can really be honest with yourself. Justice holds the sword of truth. Be honest with yourself about what you believe about money and resources. Write it all down. And then maybe hold that piece of paper against your heart or in your hands and sense where in your body that belief lives. And it may surprise you where it lives. Then you can tear up or burn that piece of paper and release that belief. You can do a cord cutting. You can visualize in whatever way that makes sense, taking out that belief from your physical body. Now science is showing that our memories isn't in our physical brain. We have memories all over our bodies. In fact, there's a book called The Body Keeps the Score. So somewhere in your body, it may be your head, but not necessarily. It could be your left foot. There is this belief around money that is blocking you. So you can do that. You can do an energetic clearing as well with selenite or Trolleite. All right, let's move on to the Six of Swords. The Six of Swords is how you can clear stagnant energies. Sometimes you're just kind of maintaining, right? You're not losing money. You're not struggling, but you're not necessarily growing and moving forward at the pace that you like. You don't quite have the lifestyle that you'd like. And the Six of Swords is choosing movement, even small shifts, rather than waiting for things to change on their own. So it's kind of like being in this loop, wake up, go to work, come home, go to bed. You have this repetitive thing, and they could be small, like daily things, and then larger cycles as well, but they're still repetitive. And it's like, how do you get off this merry-go-round? What you want to do is change those patterns, change those cycles. And what you have to do is release the old shore, right? And go across to another shore. And what does that mean is leaving what's familiar what no longer serves you and trying something new. It can be, you can invite this energy in small ways. So let's say you wake up every morning at 6 o'clock and you take a shower and you get dressed and you make yourself something to eat. You look at your phone, read some news, or look at your social media while you're eating, and then you go to work. What if you changed that morning routine up? Let's say you do everything the same, except that when you're eating, you don't look at your phone. You don't look at the news. You don't read the newspaper. You don't listen to the news or a podcast or look at social media. Instead, when you're eating, you think about the nutrition in your food. You think about every insect, every human, every raindrop, sunbeam that it took to bring you that food. The people that drove the trucks, the people that raised those chickens or grew that grain that's in your bread, your toast. Think about all the ingredients in your food and how it came to you. And see how abundant that is, all of that to bring you that special breakfast. And show the gratitude. Do that for a week. And then the next week, add to it. What magical thing is going to happen to me today? What opportunity is going to come my way? What am I going to see today that shifts my perspective, that moves me in a new direction? What is going to excite me today? And create a new morning ritual. So you're already eating breakfast every day. You're just, instead of eating breakfast and listening to the news or getting on your phone, you're going to show gratitude and you're going to invite adventure and newness. You're going to be curious. And this is going to help break up those stagnant energies. It can also be when you take a shower, instead of using your dominant hand to bathe yourself, you use your non-dominant hand. It can be when you drive to work, you take a different route, you park in a different place, walk a little further, get there a little bit earlier, park in a different place purposely, and walk a little bit further. Just totally changing up your rituals, your habits, your routine, in ways that you can that invite newness and clear out that stagnant energy. Open your windows when you can. Let new fresh air circulate in your home. And maybe, sage, play some good music with the windows open, or hit a drum, sound some bells, get out your crystal bowl, clear the energy in your house, and create new rituals. Do that once a week. And pretty soon you'll see that you're in every corner of your space, every corner of your life, that this new energy is flowing in. This new life is coming in. And if you clear the stagnant energy, clear the blockages, invite in a new perspective, a new relationship with money, you see yourself as worthy. You can even make affirmations that counter these old beliefs. If you do that, then you get the 8 of Wands, which is As I mentioned, momentum, it's alignment, it's the swift flow of blessings. You balance your inner scales and you release the old shore. Energy that was stuck begins to move. The Eight of Wands is like a sudden wind, a tailwind. Its progress accelerates. Opportunities arrive quickly. Synchronicities line up. All the wands are flying in the same direction. So it's alignment. It shows focus and harmony instead of scattered efforts. Your intentions and actions line up with universal timing. This creates results that come with ease instead of struggle. And the Eight of Wands is fertile and abundant energy. Remember, I talked about planting those seeds. It says, what you plant now will sprout swiftly. The seeds of truth, justice, and the release, Six of Swords, find fertile soil, and growth comes faster than you expect, faster than you can imagine. This is confirmation that you're headed there. I mean, this is just like a little tweak. It was so subtle, something in your subconscious mind, something in your daily routine, just so subtle, just a tiny little tweak, and things line up and speed up. This is incoming messages. It's like emails of opportunities in business or messages. It's movement, traveling, soul-aligned connections with the right people at the right time. Expect conversations, invitations, openings that help you expand into wider fields of abundance. Reading number 1. Wow, so excited for you. Please let me know if this resonates, what you think. I'd love to read your comments, and I'm wishing you the best. The light in me sees the light in you. Thank you. Bye. Hello, reading number 2. Welcome. You chose the Specular Hematite. And what you may not be able to tell on the camera is that it actually has little sparkles. If you hold it up in the sunlight, it looks almost glittery with very fine little sparkles. It shimmers. It has this kind of mirror-like quality and is more than just grounding. It's a stone of reflection and cosmic anchoring. It helps you to see your true reflection. Its mirror-like shimmer reminds you that your inner world projects outward. It helps you recognize when you're holding onto illusions or fears and guides you back to clarity. And unlike regular hematite, specular hematite carries a starry galactic energy. It allows you to anchor visions, spiritual downloads, or higher knowledge into the physical realm so they can take shape in your daily life. It strengthens your energetic boundaries. You're protected from absorbing energy that isn't yours. The reflective quality forms a shield, keeping you centered while still allowing compassion and connection. And it activates the third eye with grounding. While most grounding stones work primarily with the root chakra, specular hematite bridges the root chakra with the crown chakra. It lets you stay connected to earth while also opening to divine sight. So your insights don't float away, but become usable wisdom. It also helps release any self-doubt you have. So if you're focused on flaws or mistakes, then specular hematite steadies your perspective so you can see your strengths reflected back to you. And it encourages a calmer reflection so that instead of reacting, you're guided into contemplation. And this allows you to process emotions without being overwhelmed. And it balances inner dualities. If you felt torn between spiritual and material concerns, specular hematite helps you see how you can harmonize both. And it also energizes you. It eases exhaustion. If you feel drained from daily demands or spiritual work, it replenishes by drawing that earth connection that you have through your root chakra to energize you, helps you release energetic toxins, and it's long believed that it strengthens your blood and vitality. All right, and this is the card that you chose, close. I already love the connection here between the properties of the specular hematite and this image. I'm hearing something about your clothes being your armor, providing that protection, and something about feeling strong and comfortable and beautiful and handsome all at the same time. So, are you wearing clothes that may be draining your energy? Some of these synthetic materials that clothes are made out of now, they deplete our energy. They lower our frequency. And so you may not be conscious of it. You might think, oh, my clothes are comfortable. Here's your clue. When you get home, is one of the first things you do is change. Take off your work clothes and put something more comfortable on. Or maybe you didn't go to work. Maybe you went to a party or you went to go see some friends and you dressed nice in what you think looked nice, what you think others would perceive as looking nice. But then as soon as you got home, you're like, you take off the clothes and you put on maybe something cotton, something more comfortable. It's not necessarily about how loose or tight something is, but it is about the actual material that it's made out of. Also, pay attention to the colors. Notice which colors are more energizing to you and which colors seem more depleting. Notice what other people compliment, what colors people compliment you in. They may not say something like, that teal shirt really brings out your eyes. They may just say, you look great today, and you happen to be wearing teal. So just notice those colors and how you feel in different colors. Your guides are saying there's something about how you feel in clothes versus how you think you look in clothes, or not even just clothes, but how you think you look versus how others actually view you. Remember that hematite is that reflection. It reflects back to you your perspective so that you can see things in a new light, see your strengths. So there's something about dressing in a way that's both comfortable but also energizing, and empowering. Wearing clothes that make you feel strong, empowered, and attractive, but also comfortable. The right fabrics. All right. So, something about your image, how you're seeing, how you think you're seeing, how you see yourself, right? It's 3 different perspectives there. And we want to align mind, body, and spirit. It's like you're dressing with your mind, but you're not really dressing with your body or your spirit, if that makes sense. And you want to invite them into the conversation. Maybe while you're looking for your clothes, you ask your higher self, is wearing this shirt today for my highest and best good? We talked about that a few readings ago. So if you heard that particular reading, let me know. Here it is coming back around to remind you. All right, the 7 of Swords. What's taking your energy? The Star. These cards are so thick, I always think I have 2. And the Knight of Pentacles. All right. All right. The 7 of Swords often speaks of deception, strategy, hidden motives. But with the energy of the specular hematite and this image of the clothing and your image, right? This image of your image. It's about acknowledging the mask. You can only reflect truth clearly when you first recognize the illusions, the half-truths, or self-deceptions that you carry. So swords, remember, their air, their communication, their thoughts. So it's like all of these swords you're carrying are false thoughts about yourself. You're deceiving yourself about something. So you can ask yourself, what are you hiding from yourself? We even see she's wearing a mask, right? So it's like gathering up these swords in secrecy, what you secretly believe about yourself, what you secretly tell yourself. So truth becomes distorted when it's filtered through fear of rejection, fear of judgment, or the need to control outcomes. So it's like you're getting dressed and you may not even realize that you're thinking it, but there's these thoughts of, how you're going to be perceived wearing these different clothes, rather than asking your higher self or your body, what's going to make me feel safest, most powerful, most empowered, strongest, which outfit. Instead, you're thinking about what will I look best in, like how other people are going to see you. Again, it may be just so subtle. And so the 7 of Swords is urging you to bring what's hidden into the open. Just to yourself, being honest with yourself. And why are you worried about what other people are going to think about how you look, instead of asking your higher self, or your inner child, how you want to dress. So when you hold still with that, when you sit with that, when you're honest with it, then you can reflect reality without bending it. People see your light more than they see your shell. They see your essence, your energy, more than anything else. And so by dressing in clothes that your higher self recommends, or your inner child, clothes that make you feel powerful and strong, empowered, safe, comfortable, authentic, those clothes are going to elevate your frequency, and it's going to end up having the effect that you initially wanted, of being seen as powerful and strong and attractive and all those things. Whereas if you come from the point of, what am I going to wear that will be attractive to other people, you may be choosing clothes that aren't in alignment with your body and your spirit, and maybe those fabrics or those colors or whatever it is are actually draining your power. So interesting. And the star is, it's often a card of renewal, guidance, spiritual illumination. When we look at it with the hematite and your image, it's talking about flowing instead of forcing. The star pours from two vessels, one onto the earth and one back into the water. So this is a reminder to anchor your light by letting it move through you. Remember that with a specular hematite, it draws down energy, cosmic energy, but it anchors it into the earth. So you're that channel. So allowing that flow to flow through you, that light, that divine light, that cosmic light, and not trying to hold it, right? But to let it flow through you. If you grasp it too tightly, then you lose your balance. But if you let it flow, you stay balanced. So rooted openness. You have one foot on the ground and one in the water. This shows that to anchor your light, you must stand in two worlds at once: the practical, earthly realm and the fluid, spiritual realm. Balance comes from honoring both. So, if you're hanging out with your friends and you're going to go have fun, let your inner child dress you. If you're going to a business meeting, maybe ask your higher self to dress you. That balance. You don't want to throw all logic out the door, but you do want to just work more with spirit. Trust your natural rhythm. The star doesn't strain to shine because the star is a star. It's authentic. It doesn't try to dress itself up for anyone. It simply is. So you can anchor your light by living authentically without overextending to prove, without performing, or anything like that. Remember that you don't need to strive or reach outwardly. Your radiance is already within you, and it grounds the expansive cosmic currents. Your energy is drawing that into your body, into your blood, into how you walk. Something about how you walk is coming through in this card as well. Remember, you don't want to float away in your mind, right? Too many thoughts. You don't want to be too heady. You want to be grounded. And you want that good balance of spirit and groundedness. So again, something as simple as asking your higher self, what is the highest, best good for me to wear today? What is in my highest and best good interest, however you phrase it, for me to wear today? And then following through with that. That is how you embody and anchor spiritual, divine energy, is by cultivating that relationship with your higher self and then following through. And, literally connecting to the ground, to the earth, walking barefoot, moving, letting your body anchor things in by stretching, taking deep breaths. All of that helps to anchor in this divine channeling that you're receiving. And the Knight of Pentacles shows you how your highest visions can take form in your embodied life. The Knight of Pentacles is patient, loyal, methodical, and it's about consistency over speed. So it's these little consistent things every day, talking to your higher self. What's the right thing for me to wear? What's the best course of action in this? How do I respond to this email? Connecting with your higher self constantly and then following through with that. And you anchor it in with the follow through. And you can anchor it in with routines and schedules and small actions, little by little, right? Little by little, a little becomes a lot. Day by day, every day, getting better and better in every way. The Knight doesn't seek glamour or quick results. He represents showing up for your dream the way a gardener shows up for soil, tending, weeding, watering, trusting growth will come. And, again, there's something, look at the clothes. I mean, this person's wearing a mask. This person is completely revealed. And this person has a very specific outfit on that writers wear, right? So there's something about, it doesn't matter what you look like. I mean, obviously it matters what you look like, but what matters most is your actions. Your actions matter more than anything. So if you are with a group of people and you are collaborating on a project And one person proves to be very enthusiastic and follows through with action, and another person has great ideas and also follows through with action, and another person is dressed really well but doesn't really contribute much. Which person makes, which of those people makes the best impression on you? That's what I mean by your actions really mean more. So there's something about actions and over glamour, right? And showing up like that for yourself. There's also a message of embodied discipline. The knight is the element of earth, that Knight of Pentacles. He works with his hands, his body. So again, we're getting this message that your visions are rooted when you bring them into the physical realm, whether it's by writing them down, crafting something with materials, cooking, building, dancing, moving, stretching, walking, all of these things, gardening, something tangible, something that moves your body. This is how you anchor these in. You ask for divine assistance, guidance, and then you follow it through with a physical action. Movement. Definitely some kind of movement. We see an airplane up here. We see the rider on the horse. Both of these people look like they're doing lunges. So the warrior pose in yoga is a great way to feel powerful, to embody that power. Even doing that before you go to work, do that warrior pose and see the roots, your energetic roots going into the earth and drawing up power through your legs, and see your divine cosmic connection flowing through the crown of your head, activating your whole spine, all your chakras, going through your root chakra, through your legs, and just see this beautiful, energetic flow. Love it. Yeah, and I see you dressing differently. I see you maybe wearing your hair differently, maybe a new haircut, wearing different clothes, and feeling really good about yourself and powerful. And it's going to move you forward in life and strengthen connections that you have. Connections with other people and connections with spirit, with your higher self, with the other realm, with your guides. Reading number 2, super excited for you. Please let me know what you think. I love to read your comments, and I'm wishing you the best. The light in me sees the light in you. Thank you. Bye. Hello, reading number 3. You chose the Amethyst point. And Amethyst calms and clears the mind, quiets the chatter of overthinking, opens a channel to inner stillness so that clarity and insight can flow. It strengthens spiritual connection, resonating with the crown and third eye chakras, making it easier to receive intuitive guidance, connect with your higher self, and feel supported by divine presence. It protects your energy. It forms a gentle shield against negativity, psychic attack, or energy drains, keeping your auric field clear and light. And it encourages sobriety and balance, traditionally linked to releasing addictive patterns. It helps you step out of illusion and back into clarity and empowerment. It's emotionally and mental healing. It eases anxiety, restlessness, or racing thoughts by bringing in that calm reassurance. It helps transform grief, sadness, or emotional overwhelm into spiritual understanding and peace. And it supports letting go of attachments, whether to unhealthy habits, relationships, or thought patterns. It really supports the nervous system and harmonizes the aura, cleanses the aura. All right, and the card that you chose, very interesting. We see a family sitting here, and what my guides are showing me is this child playing with this family, which is dressed the same, right? The mom has an orange shirt, the dad has blue, and then you have the little kid down here wearing purple. I mean, it's a miniature version of what he's experiencing. So there's something about, taking in what we discussed with the amethyst. There's something about your thought patterns, your beliefs. It could be around family, but I'm also picking up your internal family. We all have voices that we've internalized. There are books written about the inner family systems. There's different philosophies about it, but basically we've all heard of inner child before, right? We have that inner child, that part of us that feels many times rejected or abandoned or criticized. And our role as adults, kind of our spiritual job, is to reparent that inner child. We've also internalized other voices. Now, it could be your moms, your dads, but it could be other people like coaches, teachers, neighbors, friends, parents. And these voices could be critical. We might call that the inner critic. They could be protective. They could be nurturing. Sometimes they get distorted based on what was modeled for us. So just like we see a miniature version of his environment, the environment that you developed in those formative years made an imprint on you. And it happens to everyone. It's time to now, like the amethyst, clear out some things and reparent yourself. So let's find out more about that. And it's not only clearing it out, but it's transmuting it. So we talked about how the amethyst transmutes grief, sadness, basically the suffering, into spiritual understanding and peace, right? So there's something you're working on right now that your guides are assisting you with to transform. So let's find out what that is and how we can do it in a way for your highest and best good with the least amount of suffering, right? All right, Three of Swords. There we go. There's that suffering we were talking about. Thank you for that confirmation. The Knight of Swords. And the Ace of Pentacles. Lovely. All right. It's so interesting because, once again, the images are showing us a story, a narrative already. We're asking about transmuting pain, suffering, grief, loss, fear. And we see the Knight of Swords charging towards the Three of Swords, right? Holding up the sword of truth. And the Three of Swords is a card of grief and sorrow and heartbreak. But when we look at it like this and we take in our question of how we can transmute these things, it's about facing the wound directly. Transmutation doesn't happen through avoidance. The Three of Swords invites you to acknowledge your heartbreak and any betrayal or disappointment, abandonment, whatever it is, without numbing it or denying it. Name the heaviness. Even if you don't know its source, if you can just name the feeling, putting it into words, you can begin to free it. You hear the dogs there. They hear somebody outside, so I'm getting fear. So again, it could be fear of abandonment, fear of not being enough. Imposter syndrome is a type of fear, right? So just naming it, even if you don't know its origins, that's okay. Just speaking it aloud, creating an artwork around it. A great thing to do is to write the word down on a piece of paper and then transform it into something completely different. Writing it down and letting the rain cleanse it. We see rain clouds here, so it could be rain, using rain as part of your ritual to release it, but also tears. Tears are a great way to release. So allowing yourself that it's also a threshold into deeper compassion, clarity, and self-truth. Just holding that, if you have amethyst, you can do that as well. Use that to kind of soften the sharp edges of any grief. And again, we're turning these swords into lessons of wisdom so that you can move beyond that wound and allow it to shape, transform into a higher understanding, into compassion, into forgiveness. And it's not about forgiving people who hurt you so that they feel better. It's about unburdening your heart, taking that sword out. And the Knight of Swords is charging forward with determination, but also protecting what is sacred. So your sharpness, using that sharpness with discernment and not impulse, right? It's not reactive. protecting yourself, your energy, your emotions, your spirit through strategy and not reckless reaction, not through being triggered. And part of it is healing this so that you aren't triggered. And when you do get triggered, reparenting yourself in a gentle and compassionate way. And remember that sacred things like your energy, your peace, your purpose aren't defended by waiting passively. You protect them by taking action when lines are crossed. We see these mountains here. Those are your boundaries, setting boundaries. Ensuring that the sword of truth that you wield is with wisdom, right? The wisdom that you gain from transmuting these past pains, these swords, and protecting your aura, your frequency, raising your frequency so that it naturally repels distortion. And instead of fighting every battle, you discern which battles are worth your energy and which can be transmuted through light, through compassion, through forgiveness. And the Ace of Pentacles is how you can anchor in your remembrance that you're always connected to Source and you embody peace and clarity. This is earth energy, grounded energy. The Ace of Pentacles reminds you that remembering that you're connected to Source isn't just an idea, it has to be planted into the soil of your life through rituals, through habits, through embodied practices. Being rooted in the present. You anchor peace and clarity by returning to your body, your breath, your senses, smelling things, feeling textures of things, moving, listening to good music. This card is telling you that peace isn't far away. It's found in the simple act of being present, being here, being now. And nurture your seeds daily. This pentacle is like a seed to be planted. It's the beginning. It's embodying clarity and peace by tending to this seed regularly with consistent devotion. The Ace of Pentacles shows you that this connection with Source isn't abstract. It's something that you practice daily. You embody it daily. And that's where you begin to feel rooted and grounded. And when you add the amethyst, it's like you're planting a living seed of peace and clarity that grows each time you return to the present moment. So every time you are mindful and you're present in that moment, instead of ruminating or worrying about the future, then you know you are connected to Source. You are already rooted into it. You don't have to search for it. So powerful and transformative. I see you walking a new path. Also, I'm hearing not returning to this, take this out, do a ritual where you pull out these swords, you transmute them, you invite the wisdom of their healing, reparent yourself by being compassionate and gentle with yourself, and move in the direction of a new path of being present in the present, being rooted and grounded in the present instead of retelling old narratives or worrying about the future. Reading number 3, this feels very powerful, and I'm very excited for you. Please let me know how this resonates, and I'm wishing you the best. The light in me sees the light in you. Thank you. Bye.